Hey everyone, how's it going? Hopefully everybody can hear me, see me. I think it's working all right now. I'm not sure. Let me know if there's any problems. Let's see. Let me bring this chat up here. See who's in the house. See if you can hear. Cool. I think everything's going. Let me know. Give me a... Yeah, I got the SG out tonight. See, there it is. This guitar is so easy to play. I don't know about what you guys think of your SGs, but it's like effortless on the fretboard, and it snaps a little bit too. Like, I just like that sound a lot. So we've got Jason Wade. How's it going, Jason? And we've got Chicken Guitars. I saw your video today, Chicken Guitars. That was awesome. I like to see that emotion was real, and I like that kind of stuff. That's for sure. Let me know if you guys can hear everything okay. It looks like you can see the videos okay, and I'm looking at the stream status. It says good, and you can hear it. Awesome, awesome. We'll give it a few minutes, let some people get in here, and then we'll get started. I think what we're going to do today, we're going to first start off with a few little things on the agenda, and I'll get into that as soon as a few people pop in here. Do you guys know what that is? If you're not Canadian, I don't know, maybe. Well, you should know. It's a pretty popular song. It's from a group called Loverboy. David Ennis, how's it going? Nice to see you. I don't know about where you guys are located, but we're here in the Toronto area, northeast. We're getting blasted by the storm right now. It's been going since probably about noon today, and it hasn't stopped, and I don't think it's going to stop until probably like 4 in the morning. So needless to say, I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. I'll be waiting till everything's done, and then I'll go out there and clear the driveway and all that stuff, but I'll be working from home tomorrow, that's for sure. I'm not going to be heading out in the roads with that stuff going on, that's for sure. Hopefully you guys are in a better part of the country or area where you're not getting this type of weather. I think I got hit with it because I was bragging about it to some of my friends on the East Coast, like far East Coast. They've got blasted with winter since November, and I was telling them, yeah, it's nothing here, we've been pretty good. I'm probably gonna have to mow my lawn soon, and I was laughing about it, and then today reality set in, that's for sure. Gussie Wells, how's it going, Gussie? Gussie probably knows that song. Here They Come. All right, well, let's give it just another minute or so. I know you guys are probably all nammed out. I know last week was crazy. I've been getting flooded with all kinds of videos and reports from NAMM. What's going on? Quentin James is in the house. How's it going? So I'm not really going to talk too much about NAMM. I'm going to probably, I've got 5 picks really that were kind of the standouts of the show for me, and I'll go over those 5, and then I'm not really going to go in too much more. R2, R3, what's up, brother? Hopefully everything is good in your area, and you're probably getting hit with some snow as well. Life's just a fantasy. There you go. Somebody knew that song, eh? I know growing up I used to love that song. I played in a cover band as a teenager for years, and that was one of our songs that we played every night that we played. It was a big hit. That and being Canadian, we always played little Brian Adams for you. How's it going, Shauna Marie? I was seeing you around in the chats. That's good. Nice to see you. Guitar Hack, how's it going, brother? Hope you're out there, not out there shoveling too much. I'm not even going out there until it's you know, done. So tomorrow morning I'll get up and I'll deal with it. But right now it's just crazy out there. There's no sense even trying. So. Every time I pick up an SG, the first thing I play with my SG is always or I don't know, it's just natural. As soon as I pick this guitar up, that's the first thing. Get it out of the way and then I get on to it. Randall Fisher, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Saw a little bit of Guitar Hack's premiere. That was cool. It's cool. I remember playing that song. Remember I played that song a lot when I was playing in cover bands. That one and used to be the other part to that was something like that. Jimmy T, how's it going? All right, so let me just put this guitar away for now and we'll get into the agenda. We'll come back to the guitar later, I guess, if we need to. Let me turn down this mic a bit. I might be a little loud. All right, let me do that. take these headphones off, I think. All right, hang in there, guys. I'm gonna put this guitar here. All right, cool. All right, let's see what we got. Everything's still going good. You guys can still hear. Paul Lou, what's going on? What's going on? I think we've said hi to everybody that I've seen in the chat. Let me just go back a little bit. Yeah, everything looks good. All right, first things we're gonna do. I know everybody's probably nammed right out. I know I am, but I figured, you know, it's an important event and tons of stuff was announced. I'm just gonna go through a few little things that I saw that were kind of interest to me. My top picks, let's say, my top 5. And let me just go to that. Let me go to my screen here, see if I can figure this thing out. So I should be able to do that. There we go. Let's see, we've got top 5. All right, cool. Let me, I'm gonna do this with my iPad. I'll go to first page here. So for me, the standout, I'm a huge Gibson fan, so obviously the Gibson announcement to me was one of my top 5 picks from NAMM. And the guitar they're really happy about them releasing is, let me see if I can bring that up here. That one right there. Yeah, that's the standard 60s neck profile, 60s issue, I guess they call it. To me, that was one of my favorites that came out at NAMM. I mean, I like all the Gibson stuff. That 50s reissue is probably really nice too. It's got a different neck profile. It's probably a lot like my traditional back there. I guess I'll have to try it when they come out. I tried this guitar the other day, and I really like this guitar. Anybody that's out there looking for a guitar at a reasonable price, and it plays solid and sounds amazing, I really enjoyed this guitar. I almost bought it. I was like completely, I played with it for about half an hour in the music store just playing, and I was like, man, I like this guitar, but I couldn't do it. I've got another thing coming, and I'll show you that. It's in my top 5 here, and I was waiting for some stuff to be released before I pulled the trigger on it, but I ordered it. I think I placed the order on Saturday, so I should be getting it by Thursday, Friday if I'm lucky. So, and again, in the chat, let me know if you're seeing all this okay and everything's working. If not, just give me a heads up in the chat. Let me go back. Todd Flowers, how's it going? All right. So for me, Gibson kind of was the highlight of the show this year. And let me go back to, second one was this thing. And even though I'm in the market for one of these products, this one won't probably be released until summer, I believe. And it's got tons of options. This is a tube amp expander. It's basically a reactive load box, so you can use your tube amp at reasonable volumes. You can crank it to where it needs to be, and you can use this as a, you know, speaker simulation. You can go right into your recording software. You can go right out to the board if you're playing live, and you can use your amp at a volume that really gets the tone out of it. This thing's got tons of stuff built in, and it looks really cool, but because it's only coming out in the summer and I need something pretty quick, I decided to pull the trigger on something else, and I'll show you what that is in a little bit here. But to me, that was one of the really top products announced as well. Just the features alone in this thing is amazing. It's got all kinds of things. Let's say you have an amp, an old tube amp, and it doesn't have an effects loop, or there are certain things, you put this in as part of it. It basically gives you an effects loop in the back, gives you tons of features. I don't know, it's a cool product. And I think, to me, the trend for this year, what I see going with all these, it's not really the modeling. I think modeling is still going to be big in 2019 with Helix and all these other things. But I think more importantly, people are wanting to go back to their tube amps, but they want to be able to use them at the level that, you know, that you need to crank these amps up to really get the tone. And I think the trend is these types of boxes where they're going to let you plug your guitar amp into it, and then you can basically attenuate it to get and not lose your tone by doing so. So I think that's my opinion. I believe that that's probably where things are going. And with some of the product releases I saw, there's a lot of companies doing this. Even companies like Rev and SMEER are putting out amps with this kind of technology built in. It's a tube amp with all that stuff built in. So I think that that's where the industry is probably going to end up going for the most part. I'm not saying that modeling stuff is going to go away, but I think people are really craving to go back to the analog world. But this will give them some more options and get them into that territory where they need to be. The other one, this one was huge. I really like this thing here. Let's see when it loads. Right here, the Friedman it's a JJ, so it's the Jerry Cantrell signature amp, and he had the 100 watt model for a couple of years now, which was really good but really expensive and super loud, obviously. So he's come up with a 20 watt version of it that's, you know, it's still up there in price, but you know, US I think it's $1,400, but man, it sounded amazing, the clips that I heard from it. And wow. So yeah, it's a nice amp, it really is. In Canada you're probably going to be looking at $2,000, so it's going to be up there, but definitely a nice amp to check out if you're into that type of tone. It has a nice classic sound to it, and you can get into that high gain area. Obviously Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, that's his signature amp, right? So you're going to get that type of tone. Let's see, BV Ninja, how's it going? And what is BV says, and Friedman has to a certain extent also, or there in terms of, yeah, oh yeah, and the Pete Thorne amp, the PT15, exactly what I was saying with the load boxes. He's got an amp that's has that technology built in. It sounds really cool, really cool. But even I think that amp is not going to be available till summer or something, I think. But anyway, that's where the products are going. So the other. The one that really stood out in the amp department that I really want to try and check out are the new Marshalls. These Marshall Studio amps. So to me, this was another top pick. And you know, the vintage series, these are 20, I think they're 20 watt tube heads, but they're the actual like JCM 800, the Jubilee, and then the Plexi basically. So that's really cool, and I think they're priced reasonably. You're probably still looking about the $1,200 to $1,500 range, right? But you could use one of those load boxes if you had one or whatever in one of these amps and crank this thing and get full Marshall tone out of it. Really nice. So that's something that was a standout to me. I think Marshall and Gibson primarily were my two top picks as far as what was released at NAMM. But yeah, if you guys I'm sure you guys have all seen these because they've been plastered all over the web as far as these new heads and stuff. The JCM 800 looks really interesting because I remember as a kid having one of those, and I didn't know what I had. I sold it, you know, to get something else. I can't remember what it was, and I should have kept that, man, because those things are worth a lot of money today. New Marshalls look good price for the two new ones. 19, yeah, they look really impressive, and the sound clips that I heard, wow, really nice stuff. So my last pick for NAMM, and this was not released this year at NAMM, but it was released last year, but the product only came out in, like, I believe September, November. This is the one that I ordered, and I'll be getting it this week. It's this Universal Audio, the aux box, which is exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's a load box that has some other features in it. Great for recording, great for playing live if you're playing live. And I'm going to run it through my big 50 watt Mesa Boogie amp, because that's something I want to do I did it a little experiment this week when I was recording a track. I'm working on my next cover tune track, which is a Kansas song. So I tracked some of the guitars with the Helix, and then I tracked some with the Mesa Boogie with a mic on it. I mean, the house was empty, there was nobody here, so I was able to crank it. But man, it was so loud in this place, and that amp was not even at, I'm gonna say maybe 3. Like, it was nothing, like just barely, and it was cranking, but it sounded amazing. So my hope is that I can use this box, get that amp cooking, you know, halfway or more, to really get those tubes going and get that sound and record that sound. So that's my goal with this. And then if I decide to get another tube amp or something else, you know, if I wanted to get one of those new Marshalls or that Friedman or something down the road, I can use this for everything, and I can plug into that. Let's see, I'm not following the chat too much, guys, so bear with me if you're asking me questions or anything like that, but keep talking amongst yourself. I'll get back to the chat. I'm just looking here. Yeah, I see you guys talking to each other about the JCM 800, the Plexi. Yeah, R2 says I need a load box to handle 120 watt PV head. Yeah, that's the problem, right? You get these beautiful amps, and you know, whether they're 50 watts, 100 watts, 150 watt, whatever, you'll never use them. You'll never use them to where they need to be to really get that. I mean, you're still going to get good sound out of it, don't get me wrong. But if you really want to get the most out of these things, you're never going to be able to crank that unless you're in a stadium or something, right? But these boxes, and especially these new ones, and the reason I went with this Universal Audio one was because of all the great reviews, and the people that are using them are actually, you know, pro players and studio guys that are really fussy on tone. And when you attenuate them, depending on the load box you use, that can change your tone quite drastically. But this one doesn't do that as much. I mean, you're always going to have a little bit of that because you are cutting some of that frequency, but this one really preserves that because it's a reactive load, and it knows that, you know, what kind of speaker it should be connected to. So I'm hoping it does what I need to do, and I should have it by Thursday or Friday. So once I get it, I'm really gonna test it out and find out what it's all about, right? Because I won't know until you try it in your own environment, really, how that works. So yeah, so I ordered this one, and this one was one of my picks from NAMM, but it wasn't released at this NAMM, but they were showing a lot of demos with it and stuff because it's like a flagship product for them in the guitar world for Universal Audio. So there's some other load boxes that came out. I think Two Notes was doing something as well, and there's some other companies. Everybody's doing it now, so it's just a matter of finding the right one and the guys that are really doing it well, and you know, testing some stuff out. Let me go back here, just a quick look at the chat, make sure we're good. Gussie says Todd Flower, and yes, Friedmans are pricey. Totally agree with you. Yeah, the Friedmans are pricey, but man, they really are something else. Jimmy T says my 100 watt, my amp is 100 watt, goes okay. Yeah. Let's see. Jimmy T says I tried an old school attenuator with a Marshall and didn't like it, but it worked well with the deluxe reverb. That's what I don't know, right? It might be some of these boxes might work well with some amps and not so well with others. So I don't know. Again, this is why I'm getting into the game. I need to find out what's going to work, and I really like that Mesa Boogie amp a lot. So if I want to use it in my everyday recording and things, I need to find a way to attenuate it and to use some really good cab and mic emulation if I'm going to use that. But the cool thing with this is you can still use your cab. You can use your cab and blend it in with some of the modeling that's done with the cabs and mics in here, and blend both of them and record at the same time. There's a lot of options with these things, and that's all I'm looking for, is some flexibility and to get the most out of that amp. So let's have a quick look. The aux may be different though. Yeah, and that's the reason that I'm going with this one. I've done a lot of research on all of the models out there, and this one seems to always be coming back being the top dog because of some of these features and not taking away from tone, which is, you know, key. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know when I get it. Well, I'll run it through the pace and see what happens. I'll definitely give you an honest opinion about it. And it's not a cheap item, but for the stuff I want to do in the studio and all the guitar work, it's going to be a great tool. So I'm fine with making the investment as long as it does what it's supposed to do, and then I'm, you know, completely happy with it. If I'm not, you know, got 30 days, I'll bring it back if I'm not happy. All right, let's see, what else do we have in the chat? So that stuff was kind of the Gibson stuff, the Marshall stuff, Friedman's new amp. Those were kind of my takeaways from this year's NAMM that I really thought, you know, did some nice stuff. Other than that, there is a lot of pedals being released, things, you know, there's just so much of it that, you know, I'm sure it's all good stuff. It's just a matter of, there's just too much of it, right? So, and I'm not in the market for pedals really, other than one that I'm going to show you here, and maybe you guys have experience with this one. I don't know, and I'll tell you why I'm interested in this next pedal, but we'll talk about it. Danny Allen, how's it going, Danny? Glad I got directed to this channel from Guitar X channel. Cool. Thanks for joining us. Jason Wade says, RT, all you need is a set of earplugs, triple pane Windows rocker. That's pretty much it. Once you start cranking these high watt amps, man, like I was playing the other day with that thing, and oh my God, it was loud in here. And I had my headphones, I had the track playing in the headphones. That amp was overpowering what I was hearing in the headphones, and the headphones were cranked. So I was probably going to do some damage to my ears if I kept going that way. So it's probably a good idea to try some different things. BV Ninja says, did you see the aux tone panel live? Yes, from NAMM at the weekend with Pete Thorne, Josh Schmidt, Tim Pierce, James, and you know, yes, yeah, I did see some of those live streams that they were doing at the Universal Audio, I guess, booth. And yeah, it's a popular product, and a lot of big studios are using it. So I'm very intrigued by it. So looking forward to getting it and trying it out. Let me go back. The Strymon Volante is very cool. Yeah, I think Strymon makes some really cool stuff. Again, pricey, but if it does the job. I'm not a big, I guess, connoisseur or whatever of delays and things like that. A good delay to me sounds good. It sounds good. I'm using an MXR carbon copy, which does exactly what I need it to do. So there's a lot of fancier stuff out there and different types of things, but to me I just need there's a certain amount of delay that I need, or a little bit of kind of ambience that I'm looking for, whether it's reverb or delay, and I kind of stick with some of the stuff. If it works, it works, but there's tons of options out there, that's for sure. Let me have a look. Strymon pedals, BB live video. Strymons are also pricey. Yeah, so let me go back, and so the pedal that I'm kind of interested in, and it's weird, it's not really, it's kind of a weird pedal because I guess it's not really an effect, but let me show you. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it because I'm still new to getting back into guitar and stuff. I'm still finding some of these products out and things. And one of the challenges that I have, all my guitars are tuned standard tuning, right? And sometimes I'm jamming, or I'm just, you know, playing along with tracks and stuff, and you'll play an old song from Hendrix or whatever, and he's tuned half step down, and, you know, Skinnerd and all these guys, so they're all tuned differently sometimes, and I don't want to tune everything and tune it back. I just, you know, I like the feel of the guitars with the strings that are on them in that tuning. So I found this pedal. So I don't know, you guys are probably familiar with this thing, and it's pretty cool from the demos I saw. So what this does is basically it drops tunes your guitar. So as long as you're playing through an amp or something where you're not hearing your strings as you're playing acoustically, you're just hearing the amp sound or from your headphones or whatever, this actually seems to work, because you'll see all the numbers on it. It drops by 1 step, so that first number would be dropping by a half step and then a full step and so on and so forth. I mean, I probably wouldn't go down very low, or like maybe down to drop D or something, because you still want, when you tune down to drop D or drop C or something, you need a certain, the string feel to be what it needs to be. But a half step down and keeping the string tension the way it is, that's perfect for what I'm looking to do, because with this thing, I could just, if I put on a song and it's tuned half step down, I just hit my pedal, I'm tuned half step down, I go along and I play along with it. That's much easier for me than just tuning everything and tuning it back up, and then you're just, that neck is shifting because you're releasing tension, putting tension, you're going back and forth. You know, I'm not really interested in doing that. I got my guitars set up the way I like them, so doing all kinds of alternative tunings and things like that aren't that appealing to me, especially when I just need to play a song or jam along with a track, and then, you know, maybe it would be 1 or 2 songs that are tuned that way and everything else is tuned 440 like regular. So I'm interested in that. Let me see if you guys have tried this, or if you guys know of any other pedals that are like that are probably better. Gussie says, very true, Brian. I also use a $39 delay and it's great. Yeah, it's just whatever works for you, depends. Randall Fisher, talk about being in SMEER, your bass playing is killer. Oh, thank you, Randall. That's awesome. Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. Let me just go through the chat a little bit and we'll see where we're at. My old Digitech, R2 says, my old Digitech digital delay pedal from 2000 is my favorite delay pedal. Okay, cool. Gussie, oh, thanks, Gussie. That's awesome of you. Let's see, I'm just going down. Guitar Hack, yeah, I've seen that. So so you've seen this pedal, I'm assuming, Guitar Hack, right? Because I've never seen it. I was actually watching a demo from somebody at NAMM. He was demoing this aux box thing, and he played along with a track to Hendrix, and he says, oh, let me tune, and he stepped on that pedal, and all of a sudden his guitar was a half step down and he could play, and I'm like, what the hell did he just do? And then they showed a close-up of his pedal board, and this pedal was on it, so I did a little research, and that's how I found it. But maybe you guys have used this before. Let's see. Hey, Randall, thank you very much again. Yeah, I still play some bass. I don't play as much as before, that's for sure. I definitely play a hell of a lot more guitar than I do bass, but every time I pick up the bass, man, it brings back, there's a lot of things. I still have my own style with the bass, and I enjoy playing it. I'm probably a better bass player now since I've picked up the guitar and devoted so much time to guitar, just with the things I've learned and put my time into as far as scales and things. And when I pick up my bass now, I'm incorporating a lot more of that stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to playing or jamming with a band. Just, you know, not joining a band to become a bass player again full time, but to you know, go out on a jam night or you know, meet a bunch of friends somewhere and just jam. And yeah, I wouldn't have any problem doing that. That's for sure. I don't own a bass amp, but I have a direct box thing here, an Eden direct box that I use for recording. So as long as there's an amp or, you know, plug into the PA or whatever, wherever I go, it's totally cool. But yeah, still enjoy it. BV says the pedal, okay, it kind of works okay, can have a bit of noise floor depending on how you power it. Okay, yeah, and I've heard that this pedal, I think, is an 18 volt, if I'm not mistaken. It does come with its own power supply. My pedal board has a power supply built in, and it has different, I guess, power outputs, and one of them is a dedicated 18 volt, and there's the 9 volts, and I think there's a 12 volt. So I think I could probably do it with that. And I think this pedal, I probably just run it right at the beginning of the chain before everything else. It does have a buffer in it, I believe, from what I've heard. So I don't know. I might pick it up just to try it. You know, again, you can try it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, Guitar Hack says he uses Audacity to change the pitch of the song. Yeah, I mean, I've got Audacity and I can do that as well, but it's, you know, just sometimes when you're just jamming and you're on YouTube or something, and sometimes I have my computer open and I'm just sitting here playing along with songs, and I'll just load up a song like a Hendrix video or something, and I don't want to play along with it. You know, I don't want to have to download that, put it in Audacity, run the program, do, you know. So just for that type of thing, I'm thinking, you know, depending on how much it is, I think it's about, well, it says 179 here, but I don't know, in Canada it's probably more, right? So I'll try it. It's just for convenience more than anything. It's just having it there and say, oh, this song's half step down, click, done. You know, it's in drop D. Mostly drop D, I don't mind tuning my drop D, as everything else is standard. But if it's a drop D in one step down, then it's more. So I don't know. I'll try it. Jason Wade says, sorry, gotta go, got a notification. Thanks, Jason. BV, they might do, I'll ask Corey, okay, I'm not sure what that is. Gussie, can only imagine where your guitar ability will be in 1 year. Oh, I don't know, I'll keep working at it, that's for sure. Todd Flowers, I got timed out on Facebooks for liking and posting too many times Ben Coombs' NAS post. Did you really? I saw that Ben is on his way back today. He's probably going to get stuck somewhere because this weather we're having is crazy. And I think he's landing in Chicago and then to Toronto. I bet you anything he's not getting out of Chicago tonight. But, you know, what a trip. He seemed to have a blast. That was amazing. I'm really happy for him to have been able to experience that and to do everything that he was able to do. That's awesome. Let me just see a few more things and then we'll see what else. Randall, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I take it you're familiar with SMEER, Randall, because you seem to know a little bit about the band's history and some of the music. So that's awesome. Thank you, man. Let me look at pause. Jimmy T says possibly a little latency with the drop pedal. Yeah, I don't know. From what I heard, it depends on, as long as you can't hear your strings when you're playing, you don't notice it, but I don't know, I'll have to try it. If I'm plugged through an amp and I'm jamming along with a song, I'm usually louder than anything that I can hear on my guitar as far as the strings, so it might not affect me that much, but we'll see. The guy that was playing with it at NAMM, seemed to be pretty natural with it, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Nightbot, Jason Wade timed out. I don't have a Nightbot on here, so I don't know what that is. Guitar Hack, because I have to learn so many songs, I save them in Audacity and run. Okay, yeah, that's a good way to do it, Guitar Hack. Yeah, if you can get all the songs you need to learn and just put them in Audacity in a playlist or something, and then you can drop the pitch or do whatever you need, is probably the best way to go. Yeah, but I'm not really using it that way. I'm just kind of like surfing and the web or whatever, and I find a song I like and I just want to jam with it once or twice, so I don't really go through all that other effort. Shauna, yes, Ben was so awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I liked all the coverage that Ben and JJ's House of Jams or whatever was doing. That's amazing. I liked all that stuff. I liked more their coverage than some of the other guys that were doing more like produced things. It's just for some reason, I don't know, it seemed more real. You felt more like, you know, you could feel that their experience and the excitement they had. So that was pretty cool. JJ was cool to help Ben out. Yeah, JJ seems like an awesome guy, man. Yeah. Let's see, JJ's the man. Yeah, kept liking his Facebook. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys. I know you guys create a lot of content online, you're YouTubers as well. So I got a lot of questions in the past about, you know, what do you use for video editing programs and things that work on Windows and Mac and cross-platform that, you know, don't cost hundreds and thousands of dollars or whatever, right? So I use Final Cut, and that if you're on a Mac, that's probably you know, one of your best choices, but you got to pay for that, and it's probably, I think it's $300-400 right now, so it's not the cheapest way to go. But I did find this software here, and this is called Filmora, and it's getting a lot of good reviews in the film industry. And there's a free download, so it's a free version, and it's pretty packed with a lot of features for video editing. You know, you just drop your clips in, and it has a timeline. You can cut, you can do your transitions, add effects. There's a lot of options in it for what you get. There is a paid version of it. I think that it's basically Filmora Pro or something, and they're at version 9 right now, which is pretty packed full of all kinds of stuff. And if you're interested in finding a program to edit videos and you're not happy with what you're using, if you're just using something like Movie Maker or something really simple, you're probably limited in what you can do. This is a lot better, I believe. I haven't tried this program because I use Final Cut, but I did see a lot of guys in the circles that I run as far as film industry talk about this and have it as an option for people who don't want to use some of the other higher priced programs. So this one's called Filmora. You can go to their website. If you just Google Filmora 9 or whatever, I think it's just Filmora. The website is filmora.wondershare.net, but just Google Filmora, like with this here thing, and see what it, you'll see it there. Basically, it's version 9 that's out right now, and it's a cool editor. It seems to be pretty much like Final Cut, and it seems drag and drop your clips in, your audio. You can have a little bit more flexibility with your audio editing, you know, with bringing levels down and up and all this other stuff. You can do some nice transitions, some color corrections, green screening. It supports 4K, so any resolution you throw in, it'll work. So it looks pretty good for, I mean, especially if the free version has a lot of, you know, the standard features you're looking for. It can't hurt to try it, right? So I found this the other day, and I believe they have it for both platforms. They do have it for Mac and Windows. They might even have a iOS version, maybe. I haven't really looked that far into it, but they might even have that. So anyway, check that out. Looks pretty interesting. Let me see. Paul Lou says, I haven't really watched any NAMM videos this week. Oh my God, yeah. My feed was packed with NAMM stuff. It got to be too much after a while. Chicken Guitar says, that's what I use. Okay, good. Well, there you go. Maybe Chicken Guitar can give us a little bit more update on what this software is like, if it's any good. I mean, yeah, not bad for $60. I think the paid version is $60, and I think there's a pro, like a higher level one for $150 or something like that. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. Maybe Chicken Guitars will let us know here. Yeah, Filmora is a lot more straightforward than others. Jimmy T says, Guitar Hacks has got to check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out if you're into doing some videos. Paul Lou, I'm learning DaVinci, but I have Filmora 9. Yeah, see? A lot of you guys already have this stuff. Hey, Janice, how's it going? I was being careful not to like too many posts. I didn't know that I liked all his posts. Nothing happened to me anyway. Just downloaded Filmora, we'll try it. Cool, yeah, that's what you gotta do. Just try the stuff, right? Can't hurt. Randall Fisher says, check out Down by SMEER. Yeah, that was one of our bigger songs. We actually went down to Boston to film the video for that. I remember that trip well. We filmed that video and another song we did a video for, which was To Your Sons, which was kind of a more I guess, military type of salute to veterans that we did. And it got a lot of traction down there for sure. Down was a really popular song for us. That was on our second album, and yeah. Oh, that's cool, Randall, that you know this stuff. I don't know where you're from, Randall. Are you from Toronto? Brian, killing it tonight, so interactive. Hey, thanks, man. Doing what I can. Hopefully it's good content and it's of some value to you guys. That's what I want to be all about as far as doing these live streams and some of the videos I want to do. As long as it creates some value and some content that you guys can use, that's what I want to be doing. Let's see. Guitar Hack says only watch Ben and some Anderton stuff. Yeah, the funny thing about the Anderton stuff, Ben and JJ posted something about meeting, I think the captain or whatever, one of Lee, I think his name is, or whatever, and said that he was kind of not really, like he wasn't really paying attention to him, didn't give him the time of day, kind of was being more of, like he feels he's a star or something like that. I don't know. After they said that, I had a little bit different opinion about, like, those guys are cool and everything. They put out some good videos and things, but when you hear something directly about somebody else like that, you kind of think, yeah, okay, maybe this guy's not that cool or whatever. But I guess Ben will tell us more once he gets back, and I'm sure he'll do a live stream and tell us all about his trip, right? So, but I was kind of, yeah, that's kind of weird when people are like that. So I see you guys are talking about Filmora. Chicken Guitars is giving us some information about it, which is awesome. Janice says, my heart was filled with joy seeing everyone together. Yeah, see, that's a cool thing about it. And I think that's, if I'd like to go to one of those events, whether it's next year's NAMM or Summer NAMM or something like that, but it's really about, you know, meeting some of the people that you see on here, and, you know, going to some of these events, like these concerts and whatever, together, and experiencing some of that stuff. So I don't know, but it's, you know, it's a lot of money, and you gotta make the time in the schedule to get out there depending on where you live and stuff. So I'm definitely looking into it for next year, that's for sure. Let's see. Randall says he's in Memphis. Wow. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed my band SMEER's music, and it's really appreciated. It was a great time, and I'm really proud of the music that we created, and it's still out there. And you know, the funny thing about it is, I wrote probably 95% of that music, and if I use it in one of my videos, YouTube sends me a claim saying, hey, this is, and then I have to send them the whole, my SOCAN registration thing for the song, saying this is my song and I wrote it, and then they take the claim off. So it's kind of weird, right? And then the other day I post videos sometimes of myself, like, playing covers, like I did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, and I did Iron Maiden song. I never got any copyright claim, no nothing. And then I post just a video of myself doing a photo shoot or something like that, and I play my own music, like the SMEER song, and they they flag it. So you'll figure. I don't understand it sometimes. Brian, could you at some point showcase your photography passion? Yeah, I can do that. Maybe that'd be something in a future show that I can plan and, you know, go through some of that stuff. If that's an interest to you guys, definitely, man. Yeah. I try to focus on the guitar stuff here because I know that's what you guys are into, but if you're interested in that other stuff, I'm more than happy to share that. Guitar Hack says filming night seemed to be a really cool guy. Yeah. Let me go back to my other shot here, since we're off of the web thing, and I can put the iPad away. Let's see. And let me bring out the chat. There we go. Yeah, Phil does seem like a nice guy. He spent a lot of time with Ben and JJ talking to him, so that's pretty cool. Summer NAMM, yeah, Summer NAMM would be an interesting one, especially in Nashville. I was in Nashville last year for an event, and what a great place. Especially if you're into music, man, that's an awesome place. You go on that Broadway street where all those honky tonks and bars and things are, and every day, no matter what time of day, there's somebody playing, and they're all local musicians. They come in, one band will set up and they'll play for a few hours, and then they tear down, and then an hour later another band's in and they're playing. It's just always rotating, and there's tons of stuff, and you just get a feel there in Nashville. It feels different. It really, you get a sense of the creative type of community that's down there. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to get down there, man, it's definitely a great place if you're in music. If you're into anything, really, it's a nice place. Sean Daniels and Cheddar had an hilarious NAMM Awards video today. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see anything from Cheddar this year from NAMM. I don't think I don't know if he posted, but I didn't see it in my feed. So I'll have to check out this this NAMM Awards video. That sounds kind of funny. Guitar Hack says, got my eye on Summer NAMM. Would love to meet some folks. Yeah, definitely, man. Do you need an invitation for Summer NAMM? I believe you need to get a pass. I went on their website today, and you can, if you're, I guess you could apply to become a member of NAMM, then you pay a membership fee, but you have to be part of a certain industry. I could probably do it because I'm in the video production and audio production industry as a full-time employee, so I could probably, you know, put that in, and they'd probably qualify me to get a pass. The way that I'm looking at doing it, and I'm trying to help Guitar Hack get one, is through a friend of mine that basically runs a music store, and to see if he's able to acquire some passes. And if he's not physically going himself, he's not going to use them, then maybe he can pass them along to us. And you know, if I'm not going or whatever, I'll give it to Guitar Hack. So I don't know, I'm still working on that. He said when I talked to him a few weeks ago, he said he wouldn't know until closer to the event. So it probably won't be till April or May by the time I find out if that's an option or not. Let's see. Shauna says, dang, your band SMEER is so awesome. Listen to it now. Wow. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, Janet. Shauna. That's awesome. Yeah, it's something that was a huge part of my life, that's for sure. From 1998 to 2008, it was pretty much all I did was focus on that band. But, you know, things happened, and we went our separate ways, let's put it that way. I'm still in touch with, the only guy I'm not in touch with in that band is the guitarist. And that was kind of the reason the band kind of broke up. I don't really want to get into all the drama and everything else here, but what happened was he was, you know, going through some things, and once he decided he couldn't do it anymore and there was other things in his life happening, he decided he was going to let it go. And we thought about getting another guitarist and pursuing it, but that band was built out of 4 guys that we actually all kind of grew up in the same community of New Brunswick and all ended up in Toronto. And during the years we played with all kinds of different bands, and in 1998 we got together, and it wasn't planned or anything, and the chemistry with that band was awesome, and it was really cool. So when we split up with the guitarists, it just didn't feel like we should carry on with somebody else or anything, and the singer was kind of, you know, needed a break as well, because we went hard, like from the get-go, doing recording and playing live and show after show, and it was a lot of work. And then it became a business. You have to deal with all the you know, the business side of it. So I think everybody kind of needed a break. So that's what happens, and all bands, you know, go through things like that. But it was definitely a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And for anybody who's interested, just type in SMEER in, or go to my channel even. I've got some videos there. All the videos are there, and some of the live shows we did. Some of the bigger shows were amazing, playing, you know, in front of thousands of people, and you're up there on stage, and they're just, you know, at some points for our encores, we had people jumping on the stage and stage dive, and it was crazy. And there's an actual video of us doing an encore, and we did a Rage Against the Machine song and a song from Tool, and the camera guy went on stage and captured it from the stage view, like being on stage, so you can see everybody's on stage and jumping around and jumping into the crowd. It was just insane. But yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And I remember one year we played a big festival like that and down east, and what I did is I bought a cheap bass. I think I paid $100 for it or whatever, and I was going to do, part of the show was this little solo that I would do with the drummer, and at the end I smashed the smashed the bass on stage and threw it in the audience. And you're not thinking at that point, right? Like today, I don't know if I would do that. I might smash it on stage and just, you know, for the show of it or whatever, and just, you know, everybody get excited and get into it. But what I wasn't thinking back then is I'm throwing this, you know, 10, 15 pound instrument. The neck is broken and the body is here and the strings are flapping. I'm throwing that into an audience of people. I could have killed somebody. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, here we go, right? And I just trashed it and picked it up and swung it, and all these kids jumped on it. And the cool thing about it, I didn't kill anybody, I didn't hurt anybody, thank God, because that would not have been a good situation. But the year after, we went back and did another tour down there, and we were doing sometimes we did a CD signing, because it was usually after a release of a CD that we would do these big shows. And a kid walked out and had the body of the bass with him to get a CD signed, and he wanted me to sign the body of the bass, and I felt like, oh man, that is so awesome. And he still has it to this day. Every time I meet this kid, but when I go back and visit family and stuff down in New Brunswick, that's where the show was. And if I see him there, he always mentions it, and he has it, he still has it, you know, today. And it's not a kid anymore, he's like, you know, late 20s now for sure. He's probably 30 something, and he still has it, and it's signed in his room, and he remembers that night. So that's cool that you can give that experience to people. Sometimes it's really cool. So, but anyway, I probably throwing it in the crowd and almost killing somebody was probably not a good idea. So don't try that at home, folks. Let's see. I'm just going back in the chat because I probably missed some stuff. Let's see. Can't you stop that if you use DistroKid or similar, can attach an ID? Yeah, my stuff through, I think through YouTube, because we're with CD Baby when we released our CDs online or whatever, and the record company that we were with, they did their own thing as well through distribution in Europe. So, but I think the tag is coming from CD Baby, because digital distribution going to like iTunes and I guess wherever these things are picked up when YouTube tags it, it's coming from there. So it says, you know, it knows that it's registered to somebody. It's not associated with my channel or my name, I guess. I don't know, because I did send it to YouTube after with the proper we have something here in Canada called SOCAN, which is a Songwriters Association, and when you're registered, you register all your copyrights with them. So I was able to send them that ID, and they said, yeah, okay, that's legit, and they took it off. So it's not being claimed as a copyright strike or anything, and I can use it. But yeah, but I think DistroKid, if I released music today, like my own music, which I'm planning to do, I'll probably go that route with DistroKid, and then I think there's a whole other system in place now with that stuff where it's tagged and it's yours, right? So yeah, I'll have to check into that. Randall says Brian's photo is second to none. Thank you, Randall. My premiere got copyright claim before I aired it. Yeah, well, you're playing a bunch of covers. I'm sure it would, but it's so weird. Some stuff gets tagged or gets nailed, and some stuff doesn't. Like I said, I played those cover songs, and they're produced songs. Like you can tell that that's the song, like Iron Maiden and Rock and Roll Chiku. It's the same friggin' thing. It's exactly. I didn't do my own version of it. I did my own version with the sound that I was using, but I was playing the song like the actual song, and I never got a claim. Maybe it's because the channel's small. I don't know. Maybe if I had over 1,000 subscribers, they would claim it. I don't know. That's so weird that you know, like you said, you played your premiere and you were playing it live, the songs coming through, and they were able to tag it that way. And I put a full produced song online, and it didn't do anything. So it's kind of weird. Shauna says, yes, I would love to see your photo. Yeah, I'll definitely do the photo thing for you guys. I'll go through some stuff. Maybe in a week or two, once I get rolling with this show and get some agendas going, and I'm taking some of this feedback that you're giving me here. I want to do another studio tour tonight, but I don't think I'll have time. We're already at 8:30, so I'm going to go for another 15-20 minutes here. So maybe next week I'll do I should have that aux box, and I'll do a little tour of the rest of the studio, and maybe I'll dedicate a little bit of time to talk about the photography side of it and show you some stuff. If you're interested in that, that's cool. Brian, it's a passion of yours and we're interested in you, so yeah, okay, that's cool. That's what I need to know. Brian, I need the name of paint on your walls. The name of that paint color on your walls. Well, if you're talking about these walls, well, yeah, because this wall here is black and everything else is they call it neutral gray. It might look different on the video there, but it's actually neutral gray, and there's an actual code, like a paint code that you can get for it. And the reason I got that, it's for the light reflection and things. So my studio downstairs, I have another little studio downstairs where I do a lot of photography, is painted with that neutral gray. Because of that, it's the reflections of flashes and things like that. You don't want it impacting the color of your image and things of that nature, so that's why that's that color. I don't remember what the actual color code. I can get that and send it to you if you're interested in that, but if you look for, I think it's neutral gray, it's called something like that. Let's see what else. R2 says, I want to move to Nashville. Yeah, me too, man. I like that. Johnny has talked about getting flagged on his own stuff. Yeah, it's so weird what gets flagged online. Lando got copyright claim. I saw that for an airplane noise. Really? Like, I don't get it. I think that this whole YouTube, like the computers that run through the system and tag things, that stuff's got to get messed up. It's so huge, and the servers are, working like crazy. It's definitely going to make mistakes and tag things that are not, supposed to be tagged. Who knows? And again, I talked about this at my last stream. I'm really doing this type of thing not for, money and all. Like, I don't really care about, like, I mean, it's nice if you get that, but it's not why I do it. So, sometimes people get a claim on their copyright and it says, oh, you're fine, you can keep the video there, but the money that you're earning from the ads on this video, a huge part of it is going to go to the owner of the copyright, which I'm fine with. I have no problem. I'm just doing it for fun. You can give the whole thing to the copyright owner. If he wrote the song, have at it. We're covering it. So in essence, we're giving more publicity to that band and that song, so more people know it and probably go and listen to it and find the band and get interested in the band again if they're finding that song and they like your version or whatever. That's what it's all about. So I don't know. Maybe there's all kinds of rules on here. I don't know. Brian, can you play Summer 69 one more time on the SG? I wasn't playing Summer 69. I was playing, what the hell was it? I can't remember what the hell the name of that song was. I'll play it in a bit. And there's another song I play sometimes on that, and it's an Alice in Chains song. And I don't know what the damn title is. I know the song in my head, and I'm trying to find it online so I can play, learn the full song. I just know that little part of it, and I don't know it. So maybe I'll play it in a bit, and you guys will probably know what it's called, and you can let me know. Jamie Darters, Brian Cote, you're an animal. No. R2 says, I hear you, Brian. My original band was great, and I can't find another group of people that I had the same chemistry. It's so important, to find the people, especially if you're playing in a rock band or something like that, where you're creating original music, and there's a certain feel when you have a chemistry with a band, the guys, girls, whatever, you're tight as far as knowing what each other vibes are on stage. It's just, there's something about it. Because I played after that band a few, went on jams and things, and just I needed to see if I was going to get back into it, what it would be like, and it was not the same. And I did it right after, like probably 3-4 months after my band, we decided to call it quits. my drummer had an audition with this other band, and they were looking for a bass player, so I went with them and tried it. And they were a great band, don't get me wrong, but it was not the same vibe at all. And I was like, you know what? My headspace isn't where it needs to be to go back in, you know, full blast into this. And that's when I decided just to focus on something else for a while. And it ended up being a long while. Obviously, it was, you know, I just got back into guitar in 2018, and the band quit in 2008. So almost 10 years I took a break and focused on my other things that I was interested in, such as photography and videography, which became my full-time career, that's awesome. But music wise, but now it's so cool getting back into music and getting back into guitar. I'm like crazy involved in it and super passionate about it. But I needed that break. I was burning out as well, I think. So it's all good. Let's see. R2, Janice. Where is Sweetwater? Sweetwater, I think, is Indiana, I think. Let's see. Fort Wayne, Indiana, yeah. I want to go to that thing next year. Guitar Hack says, this is so cool, Brian. Thank you. I'm glad the stream's working. With the internet that I have here at the house, it's not always great, but I seem to have the settings down so that at least it's working properly. It's not going to be a 720p stream as far as quality, but I think it's good enough for what we need. BG, Brian, and you look kind of quiet, man. How many hotels? Yeah, no, I'm completely not crazy. It was just, you know, when I get in show mode, let's say, and it's in front of an audience, and you know, you're putting on a show. You want the people to get their money's worth, and that whole bass, thrashing a bass and throwing, it's something I had in my head for a long time. As a kid, I saw, you know, Kiss was a huge band for me when I was growing up, and you'd see Paul Stanley up there just, you know, destroying a guitar and the crowd going, like, it was kind of that thing in your head. Hey, if I ever get a chance, I want to try to do that someday in a real live environment. And hey, checked off the list. I was able to say I did it. And but when you're in the moment doing it, it's pretty awesome, and the crowd will react to it. Trust me. After that, we had that crowd like the whole night. It was just, they were insane. So just a bucket list item, let's say. Let's R2 locking on any footage of your original band. Chicken Guitars says, yeah, R2, if you have footage of your original band or anything, music of your original band, put it in here, man. You're more than welcome to promote that. That's the other thing in my channel, in my chats and stuff. If you've got something you know, I'm not looking for everybody to just throw up a bunch of advertising, promoting their own stuff, but stuff like that, yeah, definitely. You know, if there's a community that's in the chat here that's interested in this type of thing, definitely put it out there, and people will check it out. I have no problem with that at all. So yeah, R2, put it in there. Thanks so much for mentioning the band. I had no idea they were so. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the love you're giving us for my band SMEER, because it was definitely a huge project for me, and I still get a lot of people, you know, people still buy the music, which is so cool, because you know, we get the stats from iTunes and places where the people are buying it, and every month I see the stats and people are buying the songs, or they're streaming it on Spotify and everything else. So that's awesome. I guess, you know, I'm glad that the music is still relevant, or still kind of in today's world still appealing to people, because sometimes as a band you might be writing in a certain way for a certain genre of music in a certain time period, and you know, you want to write something that it'll last and that's going to be timeless in a way. I'm not saying that it's timeless, but it's still very appealing to a lot of people. So hey, it's all good. Let's see. Jimmy T, okay, I was wondering what happened with local song registration organizations. Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. Let's see. The drummer original live shows, audio shows, but for now, but our bass player has a video. Yeah, if your bass player has a video of your original band art too, you should try to get that and post it on your channel. Sure, there's a lot of people who would love to see it. Yeah, do a premiere. Chicken Guitar says do a premiere of your band's video. There you go. There's an idea. Yeah, that's why I love it. Thanks. Good. Paul Lou says, I'd love to know how to keep my Canon 6i from going out of focus when recording video. If you put it on autofocus, the 6i, I'm not too familiar with its focus system. A lot of them have a focus tracking feature, but you have to put it on continuous focus. There's a setting in your camera. I'm not sure if your 6i has it. With the Sony cameras, they do. You just put it on continuous focus. You select the spot that you want it to continue focusing on, and it's pretty good. It tracks you no matter if I move back or forth. Right now this is set to manual. I just prefer just setting my thing to manual because I'm pretty, you know, staying in the same area. But if you're moving around and stuff, just check that. I'm not sure. I don't use the Canon stuff, so the 6i, I don't know how, like what year that camera was built, but a lot of the latest cameras and stuff all have that focus tracking stuff. The thing is that when you put your camera on, I guess, focus tracking, you have to hit record on the button, and then it's going to do it. If you're just standing in front of it and you're testing it and you're not recording and you're saying, oh, I'm coming in and out of focus, it's not working, some of them won't work until you actually hit that record button. So try that. Now let's see. Let's all move to Nashville. Yeah, let's do it. Randall, Brian, so home. No. I'm just a dude having fun. That's all. Just play anything for us. Every guitarist has lost years, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have. Well, not that I wish I would have stuck with playing. But even back then, I was a bass player and I didn't even play guitar that much. I would write songs on guitar, but not to the extent that I'm playing today. Like playing leads and scales and things that I'm doing today, just like, wow, I never did that before. And it's kind of cool to be learning all this stuff fresh and new, right? But as a bass player, I was like focused on that instrument, and that's what I put all my time into. Let's see. BB says, thanks for your email. Just got to reply back. Cool, Randall. All good. No, make that music, bro. Yeah, I'll be writing some new stuff very soon. I've got some stuff ready to go. I'm just, like I said, once the studio stuff is all figured out and I've got the amp situation figured out with that load box that I'm hopefully getting this week. Once all that stuff is ready to roll, and I've got a kind of a streamlined type of production thing going here, and I've got the sounds and everything dialed in, the writing sessions will start, and then I'll see where I get with that. The goal is to have something out by the end of the year, whether that's just an EP or some a full album. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not a singer, so I'm not opposed to trying. I'll try anything and I'll see how that sounds, but most likely I'm going to be needing somebody to do the vocals. I can do everything else, the guitar, the bass, and the drums I program, or I use a program to do. So, but as far as doing the vocals, I might be recruiting somebody. So if you guys in the chat are vocalists and you want to collaborate, let me know. I will try singing. I did try singing on a song just before Christmas. I released, I do these jamming videos, which is basically a produced cover song, and I do all the music for it, but most of the time I'm using the vocal tracks of the person who sings it on this. I get my tracks from My Karaoke, I believe it is. Then I just grab the vocal part, and then I do all the rest of the instruments, and I do my own. I'm doing one right now. I'm in the middle, Kansas song, Carry On My Wayward Son. So, but I did one before Christmas, which was a country-ish song, Vince Gill song, and I actually sang that one. I just wanted to do it for fun, just to see. So You know, you have to try it, and you have to kind of, you know, you got to walk before you run type of thing. So I was fine to trying it, but in my own music, the type of stuff that I'm writing and things, I don't know if I'd be able to sing what I'm hearing in my head when I'm writing this stuff, because I'm not a singer, and you know, I don't pretend to be, and it's not something that you can say, yeah, I've never sung before, but in a month I'm going to be able to sing this part, whatever. It's not really realistic. But I'm not opposed to trying, and I will try, and I think it's important to try and see what you can do. But you got to be realistic too. Self-awareness is huge, guys. I'm very self-aware of what I'm able to tackle and what I'm not, but never be afraid to try things, that's for sure. Let's see. Chicken Guitar says, Brian Cote, did your band have any heads up that you were going to smash that bass? Yes, they did. They did. I told them when I bought it, because the guitarist was with me when I bought it, and he said, why are you buying that? That's a piece of shit. You know, what are you doing? And I said, I got a plan for this thing, man. And then he knew that I was going to do something with it. And then before the show, I told him, I said, listen, guys, at this part, I'm going to do this. Just letting you know, don't freak out. I haven't lost my mind or anything. So they knew. But they were the only ones. The sound guy had no idea, and he was like freaking out. He's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I had painted that bass, and it looked really professional. And it was fun. Yeah, I don't know if we have it on video. I hope we do, because a lot of our shows were videos, but I didn't have the copies. They were done by a production company, so I don't know if that is. I hope it is. God, I would love to see that. Let's see. Janice says, I have vids that are unshareable. You have to share them. Guitar Hack, congrats on your break. Yeah, congrats, Chicken Guitars, on your breakthrough today. That's awesome to see that when an artist, you know, has a breakthrough in something they're really passionate about and they've been trying, and you know, it's that next level. You're going to find yourself grow a lot more now that you've passed a certain stage and you were able to achieve something that you had in you that you just, you know, were working so hard on. And that was cool. I really liked that. And I liked the fact it was real. It was real emotion. You know, not everybody shows that side of them. So really cool. Really happy for you about that. Randall says, everyone go listen to SMEER, the song Down. Yeah. If you want, you can definitely find that stuff all over YouTube. Just type in SMEER. Gussie says, loves Nashville. Yeah, we definitely should all get together in Nashville someday, if we can. Jason says, Chicken Guitars, do you ever rub your SG like you're caressing a kitten? I love that SG that Chicken Guitars has, that white one. I'd love to get a white SG someday. Something about that white SG is really nice. Todd Flowers says, Jason Wade, that's pretty personal. That's awesome. Guitar Hack says, I know a great singer. I don't know, yourself? Or I know your wife sings too, so. Don't worry, once the songs are ready, I'll definitely be reaching out. Todd Flowers. Let's see, Brian, my ears is perked up. I was watching your photography video at your website. If you ever need a singer, I'm your gal. Awesome. Well, listen, that's what I like to find on here too, is people that are interested in doing collaboration stuff, and especially this day and age where we can record our stuff at home. We have the equipment to do it, and we don't have to be in the same room or the same city even. We can send our tracks, you know, do your parts in the back and mix it and do some pretty cool stuff. So I'll definitely be reaching out to you for sure. Let's see, what else do we have? Thanks. Although I have a difficult time for sure matching the vocalist. Well, I'm not looking to do the same, to match what we were doing in SMEER as far as like the vocal styles or anything. Like, I'm trying to do my own thing very differently. So I'm sure some of the music that will be written will be in a similar style. Some of it will be, and some of it will not be. Trust me, because I'm very much a blues player as a guitar player. So the stuff we did in SMEER was, hard rock, alternative type of style to it. So it's definitely, I do still, when I write, because I wrote most of that music, I still write in that style, but it's not necessarily always like that. So there'll be lots of different things that I want to try. So don't worry about that. Let's see. BV Ninja says, Chicken Guitars, remember to listen to those Walter Trout tracks. JT. Randall Fisher. Todd Flowers, we all love that SG. Yeah, I like that SG a lot. Janice says, I got emotional when I nailed Natural Woman vocally. Cool. Yeah, I can see that. Thanks, guys. Great song. Yeah, so 8:51. We've been going for about an hour, almost an hour and a half. I'll go till 9 o'clock. If there's any other questions, I think I've covered what I wanted to cover tonight as far as the agenda. I didn't do the studio tour. You know what? No, what I will do is just so that I can test this thing to see if it works, because I have this phone thing set up here, and I want to see if it's going to work. I'll show you my setup as far as where I'm sitting here with the lights and things. I won't do a full studio tour, but let me see if I can get this thing to work. So if I turn that on, shut the mic, and then if I do this, what happens? Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems to work. So let's see. So what I'm doing here is I've got my phone hooked up to my computer, but it's wirelessly, and I can use it as a camera, so I can kind of pan around, see. So I've got the mixer all set up here, and again, I'll go through a more in-depth studio tour maybe next week once I get the other parts. And then you've got the monitors, and there's my camera that's looking right at me, and there's a monitor right beneath it so I can see myself and see I'm in focus and everything. Audio interface, and that thing on there that's my bass preamp. So I plug in my bass into that and into the board, and then the board goes into there, and that goes into the computer, and that's how I get my sound. And then there's a tuner and stuff. So anyway, I'll go into more in depth, but let me just show you. Let's see if I can do this here. There you go. So people were asking about lighting and things, right? So here you can see I've got a big umbrella light on one side that's a little bit lower than the other one. I put one higher, and they're coming in at an angle a little bit because you don't want it straight on, because then that's flat lighting and it's not as interesting. But they're just little lights, and if I go, I'll show you what the light is in the back. You can get all kinds of light. Like, it's not a very big light there. It's just kind of like a little. And these lights are kind of the more professional ones. You can change the color temperature in the back and things like that, but you don't need to get that level. You can get just a cheap light that has enough output, and then you put this umbrella type of setting where it's kind of just on a stand, and you put the umbrella in, and the key is to just have the light spread, so it hits that umbrella, it softens up the light, and it basically spreads it out more. So as I'm sitting in this chair, it's lighting up that area nice and soft. It's not harsh light, so it doesn't look like, a big spotlight on you. And the same thing went up on that light, so it lights the other side of my face the shadows aren't as crazy. But the key is to just get them at an angle, and basically, these lights are not super strong, so they're set at 100%, but they're perfect for this room. And then your camera, you set your ISO and then your stuff with that. But that's the type of setup that I know a few of you guys were asking about the lighting. So that's the situation. That's kind of like how I have it set up here. And then, on this side, my amp is here, and my pedals and stuff are down there. And then my Helix is over on that side. And then tonight when I was playing guitar, I was playing through the Helix. But once I get that load box, so it's going to sit on top of that amp, and I'll be able to use my Mesa, go right into the board and do all kinds of cool stuff. Then I've got this cabinet back there. That's the Mesa 212. Then my two tellies, the SMEER and the Freeman. And then my 2 Les Pauls, there they are. And this is my favorite right there, the standard. But this is pretty, I love all of them, but every time I come in here, if I had to pick one, it would be that one right there. That's a standard, a 2016 standard. And my SG, which is down here. So anyway, I just wanted to see if that would work, which is cool. All right, let me go back to my shot, my original shot here. Cool. Shut that off. Okay, that worked. So I just wanted to test my phone situation thing here with this camera. It seems to work. So it's nice because you can just use it to show things that you're trying to show without having a wire or hooked up anything. And then you can walk around the room and talk at the same time. So hopefully that wasn't too kind of weird on your end, where, you know, especially when you're walking around with a camera, it can be kind of weird when you're watching it. So that's kind of, but next week, if I have a chance, I'm going to go through a more in-depth tour of the studio equipment and how it's, you know, it's running and that type of thing, if that's an interest to you. And since there's some interest in some photography stuff, I'll see if I can plan something around that. Let's see, let me go back to the chat. Nice studio, works great, thanks. Shauna says, you're a brilliant photographer. Thank you very much. You guys are really nice, thanks. It's really appreciated. Let's see, Ivan says, nice setup, thank you, that's cool. R2 says, Mesa Boogie. I love that amp, R2. Man, that thing sounds amazing. Especially like that, like I like to play with quite a bit of gain most of the time, and that thing is just insane. It's so good. Nice guitars, she said, thank you. Hope those hooks are solid. Yeah, they're pretty solid. I hope that I don't come home one day and one of these guitars is on the ground. I think I'd cry. But yeah, I've made sure I've got them in pretty good. I think what I want to do though moving forward is I'm probably going to take a big piece of 2x4, a long one, and run it along the whole wall and just hit all the studs in the wall and then go into that 2x4 with the hangers themselves. Right now I'm into the studs of the wall, but you know, you never know, right? So I'll probably be doing that in the next couple of weeks anyway, just to secure it even more, because it is tricky. I wouldn't want one of those things to drop. Oh, good Lord. It would not be good. Can't go wrong with a Les Paul. Look great, Brian. Thanks. I like the mini tour. Yeah, it's just a, you know, Brian, can you put Olin Mills out of bid? He's that good. Olin Mills out biz. He's that good. I'm not sure what you mean. All right, let me grab this guitar before we go and make sure this thing is still working. You guys let me know if it sounds okay, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. Should be on. Let's keep the hangout going. We started with Guitar Hacks Premiere, jumped over Brian Code live stream. Let's do one more, hop over Joe Wentz for another premiere. Awesome. Yeah, is he doing a premiere? All right. Well, let me play us out and then we'll call it a night, and we'll see you next Monday at 7:30. We'll do a little bit more stuff. You guys send me a message or whatever if you've got any requests of things you'd like to do on Monday nights. If you want to see some photography stuff, let me know. If you want more studio talk and stuff, and I'll probably have some. We always talk about some of the news that happened during the week. Last week was NAMM, so we went through some of that stuff. So if anything happens, and I should have that new aux box in by hopefully Friday. And if I get it and I'll have a chance to play with it on the weekend, I'll give you guys a report on that stuff. So, Brian Adams. So there's your Bryan Adams, Jason. And it wasn't Summer of '69, but it is Bryan Adams. And let's see what else we have. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go through a few more things. Olin Mills is a photo studio. Okay, good to know. I'll check it out. We'll do my friend. Cool chat. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all you guys coming in tonight, joining me for this show. I'm so happy that it's working properly. I tried to do my first show last Monday, like the regular show, and there was so many problems with technical difficulties, internet, all this stuff. But I think I've got a setting down pretty good here, and it seems to be working well. So, AC/DC, and one more. What? Give me something, guys. Give me one more song, and then we'll call it. Oh, I wanted to. Somebody tell me what this song is. How does it go again? That's an Alice in Chains song. I just don't know the name of it. Can somebody tell me what this song is called? Because I want to learn the rest of it. Yeah, just put it in the chat. Thanks so much, Brian. Great show, totally rock. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate all the great feedback. And Jimmy T says, Aphrodisiac Jacket. What is that? I don't know that. I know a Tool. You guys know Tool? I don't know. Love this SG, right? The Cult, oh, I know a good Cult song. Eruption. Yeah, not a chance. There's some Van Halen, but it's not Eruption. I'm not going to play Eruption. Something like that. Something like that. I used to know that song. SGs are like, you know, you can just ring that chord. you go. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good night, and I will catch you all next week. Again, send me any comments or messages about what you'd like to see in future shows. If there's something you want to request, like we talked about tonight as far as content. Some of you mentioned you wanted to see more of the photography stuff. If there's anything else, like I shared that video editing program, if you, I know some of you guys are actually using it, which is awesome. So things like that, let me know. I'll definitely, you know, if I'm able to produce any content that you request, I will do that. So thanks again for joining me tonight, everybody. That was awesome, much appreciated. And let me just have a quick look at the chat. Great folks here. Sunny, hey, thanks, man. You're just joining us at the end of the stream. Definitely, if you want to watch the replay, it'll be up online as soon as I'm done here. Thanks you. Every Monday, 7:30, the plan is to go live. So definitely look out for some more shows. And I think that's pretty much it. Shauna, thank you so much for coming in. I'll definitely reach out to you if you want to do some collaboration in the future. We'll definitely hook up and do some stuff. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much, and we will catch you next Monday. All right, take care, guys. Have a great week and stay safe out there. I know I'm going to be buried in snow for the next couple of days, so that'll be fun. Not really. Let's move to Nashville, like Janice said earlier. All right, man. Everybody, have a good night. Take care.